Okay, so welcome to Google Slides. This is the PowerPoint counterpart of of Google. So what are we going to learn for this session? Well, basically for Google Slides, we're going to learn how to add images, videos, smart arrange using the presenter view, importing slides from different presentations, linking different slides, and converting your PowerPoint files to Google Slides. Okay, so to start off, we'll do first the adding images. And just like what we did for Google Docs, it's quite simple. You have your insert button here, or also you have it right here in insert images as well. So just the same, you can insert different images from the same sources. Like always, we can use Google Images. So let's just click on this football player. And much in the same way, so it adds those different images as well. Okay. We can add even different, we can now also add audio from our Google Drive. So right now I don't yet have any audio recordings, but we can add those audio recordings here, especially those even from those that were shared with you as well. Okay. We can also add videos. Videos are those that you can upload here in your Google Drive. So anything like from past webinars can be added. You can also use YouTube to search for videos. So how to use Google Docs, okay? And those using that search button, it will give me a selection of those different um, videos that are available on YouTube. Now, if it's not available on YouTube, you can also use the URL. You can also paste the YouTube URL here. And just like that, we can select it and it's creating a video. We have like different options for video playback. So if you don't want your students to like watch the whole video, you can simply already change the time to, let's say, start at 5 minutes and end at 12:45, or while you're watching even. Okay.
Other monitor, I have an image already ready for inserting into here. So if I actually just click from the Finder window and drag it into the document,
so
it'll
while
automatically
you're
put that
watching,
picture
let's
in
say
here.
you move forward.
And they actually gave it the same formatting as all the text in this image. So if I wanted to get rid of that, Docs has some cool features here. If I wanted to do some more spell check, I can actually click on the spelling.
Okay. So let's say I move it to 8:05. So that's the play bar right now. I can click on this to reset it to 0, or even to use the current time. So right there, wherever the play bar is, I can just simply move it anywhere along, and then I can just use the current time so that so that I know where exactly I want my students to watch the video. And then the same also goes for the end part of the video. So let's say I only want them to watch, let's say the first, let's reset this to 0. And then let's say I only want them to watch, let's say up to, after watching this, I only want them to watch up to this point. I can use the current time again to just make sure that the video stops, okay? And just like other videos as well, you can autoplay when presenting. So the moment it goes to that slide, it will begin playing. I do suggest that to save bandwidth, so that it doesn't have to load as you're presenting, is to already preload it, meaning watch it, or before you present, watch it already so that the bar has already sufficiently loaded as well. Okay. And then you can also change the size and even the well, right now the rotation cannot work. We don't want to watch baliktad videos. Okay, even the position, so you can move it around in your document. Okay, so it edits. So if you're good with math, you can use the x-axis and the y-axis also. to move it. Okay, so those are some ways that we can add images into our images, video, and also audio into our Google Slides. Right, so that's basically adding images and videos. So let's go on to the next one. Okay, so adding images with text using the Smart Arrange button. Um, Sometimes it's a hassle for many of us to make presentations that look visually appealing to our students. So here, we can use the Explore button again at the right side, bottom right side. If I click on the Explore button, it will give me different options for my presentation. So it can suggest like different formats of my slide. So let's say I choose this one, it will automatically arrange it. So it has those different formats. Now, if you'll notice that some of the images get cropped, when that happens, what I usually do is I just click on the image, I double click it, and now it gives me the option to uncrop it and actually resize it or maximize it. So let's say I'm happy already with this slide presentation. I can just simply arrange some of the elements so that it works perfectly, so that it fits perfectly. So that just gives you different suggestions on how to arrange it. You can also use it for like different parts of your slides. So let's say this using Google Slides, not really happy with how it looks. So using the import or the explore button, it'll give me some design templates that I can use as well. Okay, so there you have different options also. Okay, the same also goes with overview. Now, let's say we're going to add some images apart from our text. So let's say I want to just put in Google Slides logo. Okay, so I have this one. This looks nice, and this also looks nice. So I'll add two images. So when I click on those two images, it will create. Now, sometimes in the elements of Google Slides, the Explore button won't work because that means there are just too many elements that Google cannot suggest anymore for you. Now, in this case, since we have two images, one is hiding. Okay, let's see. Where is that other image? Okay, so let's say since this image isn't like really related to Google Slide, I'll delete it first. Okay, there. Okay, it's a tiny one. Okay. All right, so I resize it and it should suggest. Let me do that again. Okay. All right. So let's insert an image, search the web, and then let's click on Google Slide again, the Google Slide logo. Okay. For some weird reason, it doesn't want to, what's this? It doesn't want to suggest a design for me. Okay. That's a bit of a weird error. Let's try out another image. Okay. Okay, there. So now that we have that image into that Google Slide, so we now have like different options also for designing it with those images. Okay. Now going back also, so let's delete some of these elements into our Google in our slide, and then just with this video, it has already given me this Smart Arrange feature with the design elements that I need. Okay, so you have a choice of black and white, of black or white. One thing that has been quite helpful recently is using or importing different presentations into into this Google Slides. So I'll go here to my Google Drive. A few days ago, I uploaded this presentation. And as you notice, it's not in a Google Slides format or even in any Google format as well. It's in a PowerPoint presentation. With Google Drive, you can now open different Microsoft documents onto Google Drive. If you're using an Apple device, such as let's say Keynote, Pages, Numbers, there's still no support for that in Google Drive. So best to still stick to Microsoft documents. So since I've uploaded this, let's say I click on it, it will give me a preview. I now have the option of opening this with Google Slides. So if I click on Open with Google Slides, it will create this Google Slide format for me. Now, you'll notice that it still has this PPTX format. I want this PowerPoint to be able to be in a Google Slides format. So if I click on File, I now have this option of Save as a Google Slide. So when I click on Save as a Google Slide, it will open another tab, and it will convert in the background this PowerPoint and turn it into a Google Slide presentation. Okay. Do know that some elements of your PowerPoint presentation might get lost along the way because of the conversion. But as much as possible, Google tries to make it stay as original as possible. So all of the elements are still here as well. So now that this PowerPoint presentation is in my Google Drive, let's say I want to add it onto another presentation I'm making, such as this one. So instead of one way that we can do it is simply by highlighting everything and copying and then pasting it onto the presentation, such as this. But that's something that works also quite quickly and also well. But there's also another way that we can add different slides, especially if you don't want to open another tab. So let's go to the File tab, and then in the File tab, you'll notice that there's an option here for Import Slides. If I click on Import Slides, I can select the presentation that I used in the past. So I can use this interactive slides that I just recently converted, or I can even use the one from my PowerPoint presentation. In this case, let's use the one on Google Slides. I click on it, and now it gives me an overview of all of the slides that are in that presentation. I can select all the slides at once, or none at all, and then I can even choose which slides I want in my presentation. Okay, there's an option here to keep the original theme. So what that means is that whatever format it was like in the original file, it will be transferred into your Google Slides. Or if you're using a different theme for this presentation, you can simply unclick it, and then when you're ready, just click on Import Slides. So with the Import Slides, it's getting all of that information, and it's now part of your presentation. Okay? So do know that because this is in a widescreen version, some parts of my presentation were stretched because I did not keep it to the original theme. Now, in terms of adding like interactivity with your slides, I've seen how VIA teachers have used PowerPoint in the past to create like interactive museums. You can also do the same with Google Slides. So like the bookmark feature in Google Docs, you can also do the same here in the presentation. So if you'll notice that I have this map here with different parts of Intramuros highlighted. And there are these red pins. If I click on those red pins, pin here, and right click on it, I can add a link, and just like the link, I can paste in a web page here, or I can even click on the different slide presentation. So I can link it to the Pueblo, to walled city of Intramuros, Plaza Mayor, churches, Bahay ng Bato, or the Baluarte. So if I just link all of these red pins onto link it all, then it will bring me to those presentations or to that slide as well. So now, let's say I want to present this. Since we've gotten most of this out of the way, let's say we want now to present. Usually when we click present, it will go into a full screen version, which covers up the entire screen. However, you can also make it like full screen but still minimized by clicking on this arrow here. So if I click on that arrow, or I'm on this icon, I mean, it will go on a minimized version, and you can still see the entire presentation. At the same, let's say, okay, so that's it for presentation. Let's exit that one first. Now, let's say you're actually presenting, or you want students to see like the next slide, the previous slide, or even any speaker notes that they placed here. What they can do is they can type up their script here. Let's say they're going to present it now. Instead of clicking the actual present button, you'll notice that there's a down arrow here. If I click on down arrow, I have two options. One is the presenter view, and one is present from beginning. If I click on the presenter view, the presentation will go into half full screen mode. Present my screen fully. Give me a few seconds. Okay, so when you present, you'll see this presenter view right here. So you'll see this presenter view, and in the presenter view, you have your current slide, your previous slide, your next slide also. Okay, and then on the right side, you have your speaker notes. And in the speaker notes, you can even make the speaker notes really big. Another thing that you can do with Google Slides is audience tools. In the audience tools, you can embed in your Google Slides as you're presenting questions, or the option for people, for your participants to ask different questions. Okay, so now that we see our Google slide, if you'll notice, there was a new addition to the presentation. There's now this option here at the top that says ask a question. And for those who are presenting, they can ask different questions as you're doing your Google slides. And then when people or when participants ask questions, it will pop up in your presenter view, and you can see what questions they're asking as well.